Screen with the bad fast machines, individuals with the stones, that is everyone glued to their phones. They are much more than just drivers out here trying to be lone survivors, while many more come and fall when they come up against the outlaws. Cocked, locked, and ready to rock, these fellas ain't ones to try and block. They're here to settle some scores and go after so much more. No time to make mistakes, 'cause there is too much at stake. Ain't no one can make them follow the law, because these are the outlaws. As the times fly on by, all drivers are looking past the sky. Since time is on their side, all they care about is getting in that top five. V8 motors still at full song, these folks are trolling along. As things start to heat up, it's time to aim the guns toward the cup. And ready to rock, these fellas ain't ones to try and block. They're here to settle some scores and go after so much more. No time to make mistakes, 'cause there is too much at stake. Ain't no one can make them follow the law, because these are the outlaws. Rolling on to the screen with the bad fast machines, individuals with the stones, that is everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, here now down on the track here at Charlotte Motor Speedway presents to you Twin Tiers Security Solutions Outlaws Sim Series here down in Concord, North Carolina at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And today, these next-gen cars will be running and dashing and trying to find more points in their ever-growing season. As the times are now going to get harder and get ramped up, these drivers are more amped up than ever before. Hi everyone, I am the Dead Man with the hot mic in hand, Christian Shriver, joining you back once more again. It's time to get down to the action and take a look at the lineup here as we present to you here, presented in part by the folks over at Twin Tier Security Solutions. Let's take a look at our starting lineup. On the pole here, driver number 18 is Joshua Balliet. The outside, the 21, Aiden Giordano. Row number 2 and the number 24 there is going to be Jason Miz. The outside, the 09, Keith Helton. Row number 3 and the number 3 is going to be Forrest Hamilton Jr. The outside, that number 42 is Tyler Markell. Row number 4 is going to be the 65 here, Kyle Lingerfelt. And the outside there in the 78 is going to be Julio Villalobos Jr. And row number 5 here is going to be the 5 here, Matt Setzer. The outside in the 88 is Jeremiah Stutzman. Row number 6, the 23 is Morgan Sterling. The outside, the number 2 is Josh Fox. Row number 7, the 13 is Kevin Thompson. The outside in that 56 is going to be Adam Gardner. In row number 8 is going to be the number 96 here, Matt Rogers. The Rockstar himself. The outside, the 9, Ben Henry. Row number 9 and the number 34 will be Logan Marvell. The outside in the 45, that will be Merlin A. Duran. And finally, your row 10 final starter is Joshua McClune in the number 51. And with that, race fans, here, as we are still getting used to the new mic and the setup here, we are getting all dialed up and ready to fire down onto the track. Everybody wants a piece of this one here today, but only one driver will be able to claim the top honors and the top spot. 150 laps to the distance here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This mile-and-a-half long track certainly going to be a very tumultuous factor and a very tough little racing surface. Again, the abrasive track here, very tough to master and very hard to get long runs clean and green. But when you can keep things under pressure and keep yourself out of trouble, you will see the best drivers take full aim and center here on the track. As the night skies have fallen down onto the circuit here, race fans, we finally are getting down to business and down to the track. It is time to get ready to get down to the racing and get down to the surface. Balliet will lead the M&M's 18 onto the front and down toward the green flag. We fly him high here. It is now showtime for 150 laps to the distance for the Outlaws Sim Series. Driver's already getting a good look off the runs here, trying to build some speed down across the track here, trying to find some momentum there wherever they can. Steering clear of trouble, trying to lay their way down on the flanks. Every driver right now doing what they can here, just trying to make it or break it, looking for openings where they can. Got to stay out of trouble early, though, because, again, it can be very costly here, and they're well aware of that. Get a little onboard camera here with the number 13 driver, Kevin Thompson, here as he moves his way through the lanes here. Merlin A. Duran coming out of pit road that time finally. Looked like he was the one that was having issues getting in and out of there, and does finally get the car out on the track, but he is already going to be a lap down in this case. That little barcode you see, by the way, here, race fam, that, of course, is Twin Tiers Security Solutions here. Be sure to visit up their website through that broadcast code there to help get more information on your needs and your services down on the Twin Tiers Security. The pace right now currently falling in Balliet's hands here, but again, it is very early in the run. In Giordano right now, again, Giordano is going to be one of those drivers you're going to have to watch out for throughout this race. Again, he's got win already. He's looking to add another one to his name. Forrest Hamilton Jr. with a win as well. As things start to keep going a little bit more and more along the drive here. Again, I'm really curious to see, though, which driver kind of figures out their solution, kind of figures out their playing field here in their zone. Because, again, the biggest thing you're looking for in these drivers is you're looking for those that are able to control and maintain distance, maintain the speeds, while at the same time trying to not reverberate and over-throttle their rhythm and overclock the engines here. These builds and these machines here may be the same kind of car, same style, but the racing styles of each driver completely different. And all then matters on who makes the proper decisions, who makes the mistakes, who stays clear of trouble, while at the same time trying to find their best lines and runs here around the track. Filing back down a little bit here. Looks like Morgan Sterling, the number 23 here, falling back quite a bit of a ways here and just trying to get into position to stay in, at least proverbially, the top half of the brackets here. Because, again, once these drivers up ahead here get some speed going, it's going to be really, really difficult to try to catch back up to them. I suspect the longer this one goes and the longer this one kind of takes around the track here, that can play a huge factor in those pit stops and those choices that they make to race around this kind of circuit here. Balliet right now, again, continuing to hold the race lead. He started on the lead position. He's been keeping it right there from that spot. Guys like Adam Gardner, though, right now, here they're moving up 2 spots, taking full control at center aim, trying to see what they can do here with what they have in store. And again, they're intertwined here. Their best lap currently was a 29.77, whereas Balliet's was about a 29.59, but the fastest is a 29.46, which was set by Aiden Giordano. So what that tells me right out of the gate here, race fans, that again, strategy will play a huge, crucial factor. And who can maintain their tires the best, who can maintain their fuel the most. This isn't going to be some slapdash shootout. This will be a long-form kind of race. And only the best driver that finds the time, finds the momentum, paces themselves, avoiding issue and calamity there in between, those are the ones, in my opinion, that will have the best advantage here in this kind of race. And speaking of having kind of an advantage in this kind of race, let's look at that car there, the number 78 there, driven tonight by Julio Villalobos Jr. I hope I am saying that last name right. I think it's Villalobos. Well, if I'm saying it wrong, Julio, I apologize in advance. But nevertheless, he's driving a scheme I think Charlotte Motor Speedway is very, very aware of and what it represents. That scheme right there, race fans, that is a old Martin Truex Jr. scheme that pretty much encapsulated one race that almost was literally the perfect race. For nearly 600 miles, that car was in the lead and never passed by, completely dominating and taking full center aim on the track and not giving anybody an inch. It has not been repeated since then. And frankly, I don't even think it's possible to repeat it, considering like what this car is and what it has to hold. I want to go on board here at Forrest Hamilton Jr. I want to take a look here, and I want to give you guys a good example here on how to be able to keep this thing in check and keep it in line. Again, most of these drivers are going to follow a very similar pattern on their line and choices and their runs. But notice with Forrest, that right now, he's currently jumping around in 4th gear, coming off from the straightaways on 5th and going back into 4th, entering into turns. Now, again, that's not to try and all of a sudden slow the car up even more and having to gear down like that. No, what that deal is he's trying to get the rear end and the car differentials to spin back around and basically kind of rear slide on the slide. And as soon as that car is able to retract and get things back under control, they build all that momentum and that speed to race it from there. Yeah, here's a good look right now at your top 5 on back, spread out. Bally out there, you see on the very far left of your screen, holding the race lead. Aiden Giordano right now holding in 2nd. Jason Miz in the 3rd spot. You think maybe he's like the Miz from WWE and says, like, if he gets a win, you think we're going to get he's the Miz and he's awesome out of him? That'd be probably a little bit wrong to say at him, considering all things. But right now, a little problem down there for Forrest Hamilton Jr. Slight little hiccup coming down off the distance in turn number 4. Let's take a look at the replay here and figure out what exactly transpired that caused that to happen. Everything else looked pretty good right here. Again, he was doing just fine, and all of a sudden, just looked like he had all sorts of issues coming down from the turn here, and that was what pretty much got him into this mess. Yep, you can see right there. Look at the rear end. Look at right there. Got below on the apron, got a little too hard on that corner there, and as soon as he got into that, all of a sudden that left side wheels, boom, and around she goes. Thankfully, he was able to recover it nicely, but the sad part is that's not going to win you races here, my friends. And the way it sounds down there, it sounds like some of these drivers might be clutching in a little bit right now. Maybe they are trying to get themselves a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of time to kind of stay out of issues or stay out of problems. Hard to really say right now here currently as we're still moving our way through the chains and down from the planks. The number 42, Tyler Markell, making his way around Hamilton Jr. here, and now Hamilton looking on. Maybe distinctively and decisively just trying to figure out his strategy, trying to figure out what he wants to do, what he's going to kind of bring into the tables here. The IAM machine Chevrolet of the 42, back where he qualified in and started in, Kyle Lingerfeld. One of the only drivers in the top 10 that's actually gained some positions up on the pace here. As he brings his Twin Tiers Security Solutions 65 on around here in the Toyota Camry. You're on board with Kyle. very strange in the strategy-wise. You see what happened for Hamilton Jr. earlier. Kyle deciding obviously not to go with that same kind of line, that kind of strategy there that you saw the 3 do. He's actually basically staying in 5th gear the whole way around. So what that does, though, is that, again, staying in 5th and not having to switch around to 4th means he can save fuel a little bit better and not have to worry so much about hitting that gas pedal down as hard. I don't know if maybe Forrest kind of set that car up, maybe just to lay a little bit fast on the gas and kind of lay down the lanes, but whatever the case may be, it's not quite doing him any good here. Get a good listen to that roaring engine sounds that these things bring out and bring to the table here as we look to the back of the stack here. Matthew Setzer in the number 5 machine right now, having a little bit of company on his doorstep here. Driver the number 2 and Josh Fox having a good look him down on the inside while he rolls on the outside. Yeah, it looks like our first driver to go into pit road was Logan Marvel. So it's either Marvell or Marvel. I'm gonna go with Marvel. I'm gonna go with Marvel for now. If I am corrected, I am corrected. And again, I also want to issue an apology to the league as well as to our fans down there. I normally have these links ready to go and stuff, but it's been a very, very busy time here in the old Shriver household here, as well as around the tracks here. I've been calling a couple of national races you may have known of and may have heard of. And Ryan unfortunately came back in here. I didn't even realize that we didn't have the streams up and running here, and I had to get in touch with the producers right away and say, hey, let's get that up and running, please. The people need a show, and we need to give it to them here. Got an onboard camera right now here with Keith Elton, as you can see how tight they are running to one another from ground to ground there. To you or I, that doesn't look like there's much room in there, but to the driver inside there right now, they are running them extremely close. You basically make one wrong move there, and you're going to basically go straight into the wall, or you're going straight into that other driver. And, oh, that's what I'm talking about right there. From the tri-oval there, almost like a little side swipe there from Helton to Lingerfeld, but Lingerfeld seemed to have learned the lesson. Stays in control, keeps it under his wings here. Wee 2 coming on board here, says let's go 21. Wee, thanks for joining us on in here, and I bet Aiden right now very appreciative and love and support there. But right now, looks like Keith Elton, he's going to need a little bit of support, getting that right side fixed up a bit. Slap the wall right on turn number 4. Got a good bit of damage and lost 2 spots now, turning into 3 on this lap. You got to be careful about that. You got to kind of stabilize yourself and not overdo the runs and not overshoot your boundaries here. And again, looked like when he got trapped up there with Lingerfeld, he had nowhere to go and just overdrove the car. The car right now at the moment here, honestly, it seems like it's kind of playing into this long run factor I was talking about earlier. But this, in my opinion, gives a lot of merit, as it does give a bit of an idea to what that 18 and Joshua Balliet is doing here. Ultimately, what I'm wanting to know is, will Balliet go into pit road before everyone else, or will he wait for a few more drivers to kind of fall back? The biggest thing when you're running in this kind of situation is you're having to try to figure out on the spot whether or not the strategy that you and your team picked up and thought of with the fuel and the tires is going to work, or do you try to go against the grain and figure out something on the fly until a caution comes out? Or do you expect the caution to come out? Do you try to play that game? You know, there's so many ways as a driver. You got to watch out for these things and watch out for certain stuff. That's what makes it so difficult on them right now. That's what they're really trying to avoid. Got a good onboard camera here with Jason Miz right now, and Jason pounding down the throttle and just trying to slam down that gas pedal, get up to the number 21 and get around him. But again, dirty airflow going to be a very crucial factor here. It may not seem like it considering how long those straights are, but again, you try to get a run going into the turn, you either have two options. Either A, muscle it on the outside, or B, force someone from the bottom up top. Because the fact of the matter remains, you cannot let up an inch or give everything to the driver. They will basically use that to their advantage. And it is one thing drivers love to do. It's find openings or find some loopholes that they can use on someone else or for themselves. Hey, it's just the edge of competitiveness here. That's what you do, and that's how you're supposed to be as a competitor. You find whatever you can do. You can race by the rules and you can play by the game. But sometimes you just have to have a little bit of chaos mixing in. But if everything is chaos, then nothing is order. Get a little onboard camera here with Julio right now, driver of that 78 Toyota Camry here. And I gotta admit right now, first time we've seen Julio on this one here, and so far has been quite very impressive in my opinion for what he's been doing. Well, there seems to be a little bit of trouble down in the front straightaway here. Looks like got a problem down there for the 65 Kyle Lingerfeld. He's in the middle of the track. Not sure what exactly happened there to the 65. He's trying to pull it back out of the track, get back quickly on the gas pedal, but he just lost so much time from that little situation there. No caution out on the circuit here, but we are going to go take a look at the Speed Zone TV Instant Replay brought to you in part by Twin Tier Security Solutions. Let's look at this one. Say coming around turn number 4. See if you make. Oh no, right there, same situation. You saw Forrest Hamilton Jr. just earlier. Hamilton was able to save it. This time it was not the same situation for Lingerfeld. Swung it right around, basically caught himself off guard, and the next thing you know, he feels like he's in a genjutsu. Now just trying to break out of it. And this is what you end up with after you're out of it. Nothing but heartache and troubles. What a terrible, terrible break there for that 65 machine. But again, there's not a whole lot you can do when you're in that kind of place or in that kind of position. As we get back live onto the feed here right now, Merlin A. Duran passed up by the 21 here and now going to be passed up by the 24. Giordano as well as Miz making the good move off in the corners there and trying to put Duran further back. Merlin, gotta believe, not a happy camper at all for this, honestly, considering how things have been and what he's been up to. Down in pit road, though, the number 51 has pulled in for the night. Joshua McClune calling for a problem on his end. He's not able to get the car refired and get it back on the track, so he's going to call it a night, unfortunately. Doesn't appear to have any damage. It just looked like he basically just kind of put himself in a bad situation. And he will not be able to return here, so a tough break there for McClune. Tyler Markell and Kevin Thompson here at the moment, currently in a bit of a dog fight, just trying to figure out who can get the better of the other. Markell seemed to have kind of got the better of Thompson, though, for most of it here out of the gate as we go on board with him. We're nearly 1/3 of the way there right now and 1/3 of the way gone in this race. Still plenty of time and opportunities for any driver to really put up Joshua Balliet again been leading this race out for quite a while here. Let's take a look now at our time delta sheets. And honestly, looking at the time delta here, he certainly has gotten a lot of grip and a lot of ground and time here on the circuit. He's been able to keep things under pressure and keep things well in regard on what he wanted to do. But as you see from Giordano's perspective, he's actually getting time on the 18, but it's only so much, so little. But again, for an oval track, when you gain ground and time, you find something that the other driver does not know. But soon enough, honestly, that may be the case and changing up and may be able to show them what they really wanted in this case. Looking on from the background here, Jason Miz and Garrodano right now doing everything they can to kind of keep well within reach and well within themselves. But honestly, Miz, I got to believe, probably looking to make a pass or make a move here. As Adam Gardner, one of the first drivers to go into pit road on a cycle here. So pit stops got to be coming up pretty quickly here. Miz just creeping and crawling his way around on the circuit. He's found some great momentum there, and again, running a bit of a different lane, if you will, than some of the other guys have. I wonder kind of how much has that played into his factor and kind of played in onto his drive today. Got a little onboard camera here with Josh Fox here. Driver who started in 12th today, currently in 10th place, moving up 2 spots out of the gate. Looking to try and make more out of it if he can. Obviously, he wants to get as much pace and timing as he can get down on the circuit. But again, very, very difficult to nail everything and to nail things when you don't see them coming. Well, going to this race fans here in the point system standings right now, again, it was Kyle Lingerfelt who had a win in the exhibition race at Daytona. The next week out, Forrest Hamilton Jr. taking one. Aiden Garrodano getting the second one. And then last time out at Auto Club Speedway, Andrew Sinclair, he brought home a victory to him and his team and his fellow countrymen down in Canada. And now, having to sit out from the sidelines and not be able to make today's race here going to be very costly in terms of the points he just lost. He was 100 back there of Aiden. Forrest Hamilton Jr. right now only about 20 points back there of Aiden. So I got to believe it's probably going to be very quick and pacing on his strategy and on his templates here. Jeremiah Sussman right now getting copped up there here by the 09, the 2, and the 78 here. Josh Fox finally getting around Julio. As we focused on that battle there for a minute, now looks like Fox looking to take one over from Helton. That Home Depot 09 machine right now getting thrown to the wolves and thrown into a few tough little spots here. If I'm Helton right now, I'm honestly trying to dig myself out of that pumpkin patch and start finding me some rocks to throw around. Getting a good listen there, and you can hear just how soft and gentle they're coming off those corners and coming off those turns there. They're not trying to over-rev them or trying to overpower it, because again, those exits come pretty quick against a bit of a progressive banking there in turn number 1 and 2, and of course in 3 and 4, which means that sends the drivers up a little higher, a little bit more long ways, sideways, and every which way to Sunday when they don't make the turn correctly. And in pit road right now here, it is do or don't. And it looks like all 4 tires and fuel going on. For the 18 and the 21, Joshua, not surprising here, beats him out. Both getting in there and getting out quickly and factually. But again, when you're basically in that situation and kind of in that timing seat, you need your crew a tip-top order. That crew is definitely getting it done right and getting them set up for where they wanted it. Ben Henry right now currently looking for some momentum and a little bit more power onto the circuit. Playing a bit of a different strategy card, if you will, here compared to the other drivers here. Remember earlier on, we just saw what Aiden Garrodano as well as Joshua Balliet did. Well, here is Ben Henry quite a few laps earlier. And the pit time not quite up to the standard I would say that maybe they wanted to be on that in this case here, as he slams the wall right on turn number 4 there. Basically drove that thing in and dug its heels into the ground and basically slapped that wall up like nobody's business. As right now your leader is the number 13 of Kevin Thompson. getting a little bit easier to see like what the strategy is now for a lot of these drivers. Some are going for a full 1/3 of the way pit stops. Some are trying to basically ride out as long as they can. Kevin Thompson here getting into pit road now here. Matthew Setzer and Morgan Sterling, they are going in as well. Tyler Markle as well as Josh Fox. And Jeremiah Stutzman here. Just trying to stay somewhat ahead of transition and stay ahead of the field. But, well, it's safe to say that's not happening anytime soon. Balliet and Aiden right now having a go at it once more. And it looks like it is Aiden using the draft in the sidewinder spot. Off the distance here, trying to roll through the turn. But I got trapped there coming off turn number 2 there. Forrest Hamilton Jr. trying to get out of the way for both of them at the same time, trying to keep position, trying to keep aim. Balliet right now, I gotta believe, not too happy having to switch a little bit of a different lane, different choice of the course. And Aiden always got to be infuriated that knowing he had a chance to get around the dirty airflow and use that to the 18's disadvantage and pass him up. He was trying to hope for another driver to basically kind of make a move and make something work out of it, but something does not mean it always comes out of nothing. And there's problems down there for Tyler Markell here. Tyler, major problems down there. He's pulled it into pit road, and he's calling, and he says, I'm not sure what happened. Take a look at the Speed Zone TV Instant Replay, brought to you in part by Twin Tier Security Solutions. Came out of pit road and then just pretty much all of a sudden parked it and called it. But what happened to the 42? The IAM 42 getting in. And looks like, oh, whoa, hold on down there. Well, I think that's a good idea of what happened there. And he has all but called it a night here. He's not going to return to the track, race fans. What a very unforeseen break and unforeseen situation there. Those bumps, man, they definitely caught him off guard. I think kind of caught him in a bit of a gaslighting situation. Now he's just got to be infuriated, knowing what he had and what he was going to work with. And that's just the worst kind of possible feeling you can take here. Joshua right now continuing to get back into the race lead here. Again, Forrest Hamilton Jr. was doing everything he could to block both of them, trying to pass them up too quickly. Looked for an opening and looking for a chance here to possibly take some claim to the fame. Now having to deal with Stutzman right behind him here, as Stutzman is seeing some movement, some momentum down across the banks and through the corners here. Again, this track's so difficult to master and get right because, again, it's very hard on the tires. It's very hard on the drivers as well. Again, the amount of sheer G-force and the power you're having to work with, not just through the wheel, but through the pedals. And just trying to keep everything within your own reach, your own grasp. When now with dealing with a car that, I'm just going to be real with you guys, not the best kind of car or best kind of anything, really. I really don't know what they were thinking when they created this car or what they were doing with it. Because like I said, to me, it doesn't really work on ovals all that well. And it's made it much more difficult to really start to kind of dial things up and figure things as they go. Stutzman finally getting around Hamilton Jr. here. And honestly, I think it might have been smarter for Forrest to kind of keep doing what he was doing there to kind of maybe anger Stutzman. Maybe kind of put a fire inside him, kind of put a little bit of that extra give to get through the field and get up to him. There's one thing that a driver can use sometimes over others is the mental game. And if that mental game is working right and working well, it certainly can play a huge factor in this kind of dilemma. Remember earlier on there, you saw a 14-second lap time there from Ben Henry. Well, here's your opposite and universal of it. Much later in pit road, but much faster coming out as well. And again, all 4 tires were taken on the 21 and the 18. So both drivers coming out pretty much dead even from the pit stop. And it's pretty much just all but taken this one in stride and on through the ranks here. Out of the 57 laps now we're about to put up here, Joshua Balliet leading 50 of them. And I gotta believe he's pretty happy with what he's got in his hands right now. He's grasping around the track, just trying to avoid any dilemmas, any circumstances here. Got to be very, very hard, not just mentally, but also just physically, just trying to keep yourself in check and trying to watch out for those lanes and stay away from anybody that might be out to try to get you here. Got a onboard camera here on the back half here with Matthew Setzer here. Driver started 9th, currently at 8th here. Only one spot he's gained out of the... Oh, well, I didn't mean to give him the old broadcaster curse there. He came riveting off turn number 4 there and just basically plowed that wall right out of it. Right side seems to be okay, but definitely took a lot of damage from it. And we got a battle now coming up for the backside here, up on the front half. Also, I do apologize in advance if my voice sounds a little bit raspy. Again, I had a very long night last night. Let's just put it that way. I won't say too much because, again, I don't want to take the focus off the racing here and the focus off this league because this is what you guys came to see and what you came for. But I'll just say this. I had the privilege to announce for some high-limit World of Outlaws and even a O'Reilly Series race winner that just so happened to have won 2 in a row around my parts of town even. And this isn't something back then. This was recently. So it was quite a night that night. And speaking of quite a night tonight here again, Aiden Garradano here and Forrest Hamilton Jr. just going back and forth with one another here. Let's take a look at the time delta gaps here. Now, again, the green you see on second to first, that is what's gaining on Balliet. Meanwhile, the back stack of that from Hamilton is what he's gained on not only Balliet, but also has got on Garradano. And at the moment, both drivers just absolutely putting sheer speed and power onto the track here and just kind of keeping things well within their reach. Gonna try out a little new different overlay we have right here. A little bit of a battle box, if you will. This will give you guys a little bit of an idea on who is where and who is what on the circuit and how far one is from the other. Kind of a work in progress if you couldn't tell, but hey, at least we got some new things we're kind of trying to show you. I always love it when we can find some different stuff, kind of some different things to kind of play with here. Speaking of some different stuff to show you here right now, Morgan Sterling and Adam Gardner catching up on one another there. You gotta go on board with the hard Mountain Dew driver, the number 23 today, Morgan Sterling. He currently has started in the 11th qual and currently holds in the 10th spot. Looking now just to kind of keep pace and keep aim there with the driver of the 56. As they continue to pace around, it looks like there might be some right front damage there on the side there. Yep, you can see it right there. The front nose that caved in on Adam Gardner. I believe he got that earlier on there when he was trying to hunt down Setzer that we were on board with when he even smacked the wall around. You know, the old saying is you're following the leader. Sometimes, literally, you follow the leader into the worst possible spots. And that was basically what unfortunately happened there to Gardner and Setzer, but it looks like Gardner got the worst of it. You can see there's a big just crease inside the right front side there of that car. Again, that's not a little way to make the car go faster or be able to swing around the turns more sideways. No, that is literally massive, massive damage suffered there. Sean Thompson, 8065, has joined us, says good luck. Kevin, number 13. Sean, thank you so much for tuning on in. It's always great to see some new faces, some friendly faces come onto the track here. Forrest Hamilton Jr. and Aiden Garradano right now kind of backing off their little fight here as Joshua Balliet holds the race lead away. Again, the reason Balliet, in my opinion right now, has just been so dominant, so tough to take down and try to beat out so far, has been kind of a mixture of things. It's been a mixture of just the fact of he's been hitting his marks and hitting his line. He hasn't scraped the wall. He hasn't got out of the way for anybody else. He's just been driving his lane. He's focusing on who the 18 is and who it needs to be in his part and in his story. And so far, he's not let anybody else in his story other than himself and occasionally Aiden to come have a little battle with him. Jeremiah Stutzman again a lap down here on the track, and the last driver is on a lap down marker. He's trying desperately to get up there around the 21 and then get back to that 18, get his lap back. If I'm Aiden right now, though, honestly, I wouldn't be fighting too hard with him if he catches up too quickly. Just let him go and get him out of your way before Forrest finds a way to catch some more speed and some drive there. I made that same mistake before. It even actually just cost me a championship just about a couple of days ago. I ended up basically getting someone right behind me at Phoenix and ended up going way too quick down the bottom. Didn't realize where they were at. Next thing I know, I basically got Hosevard. Phoenix Hosevard. If you know the line, you know what I'm talking about. And I'll say this on air and publicly that, again, that is my own personal fault. That was not the driver's fault. So if that driver is by chance listening, because I know I've seen him around too many times, I swear it was not his fault. It was mine. I will take full blame. Speaking of taking a little bit of things out of the track right now, it looks like we have lost 4 drivers total so far. Tyler Markel, as well as Merlin A. Duran, as well as Logan Marvel and Joshua McClune. So far out of the race here, not able to return to the surface and return to the track here. Stutzman on back, currently a lap down. Kyle Lerngefeld obviously got to be just swimming in his own thoughts of just feeling like he just let down everything. Knowing that he basically had made one wrong move and one wrong turn. And this twin tier solution number 65 is having to play absolute catch up and hoping for a break here. The problem laid in the fact that came on turn number 4 earlier. He slipped up underneath and basically got himself into a rut. And as soon as he got off old Wheeler's bumps down there, it basically just took him for a huge, huge dilemma. And he's not been able to get dialed back in and really fire this thing back around the same way he'd like to. Seeing right now what kind of timing we're looking at here at the moment. And it looks like Garradano here only getting so much at a time, but every time he starts to build something up, he just loses it again. And it looks like down there we got a problem down there. We got a major problem down the front straightaway of the 96. Matt Rogers in traffic, but gets out of the way in time for a caution come out here, though. But what the heck has happened to the Sunbelt Rentals number 96? Let's take a look at the Speed Zone TV instant replay. Oh, right there you can see there, Julio even smacked that wall pretty hard, but oh, watch out. Oh! There goes the motor. There went the machine. And Matt was not trying to bring out a caution. He wanted to get out of there as quick as he could, but as soon as you saw those two guys going right by him, just literally going side by side in through that corner, that has got to be like the scariest odd feeling realizing you could literally be the one that's going to cause something terrible to happen. He just followed on that draft, just trying to steer it down. I thought he was okay and good, but the car said otherwise. And you saw how quick he got out of that situation, out of that mess there. Good thinking and timing on his end there, and honestly, good work getting that car out of harm's way there, but unfortunately, it doesn't quite win your races here. So extremely, extremely tough break there, to say the least. Halfway done so far through this one here, race fans. Again, these Outlaws Sim Series drivers, they knew going into this race, this was not going to be an easy one. As a matter of fact, it was going to be a long, drawn-out fight and process. Again, that's what you get, and that's what you bring to the table when you're running in this kind of surface, running in this kind of racing. You will have these opportunities and moments that will basically push you to your enthusiastically, your extinction, your tough positions. The 24 Jason Miz right now getting out of pit road. Now looking to try to get that laps back. Balliet currently holds on to the moniker and holds down the spots. Matt Rogers is going to be in pit road for quite a while here. Keith Helton going to try to get time back, but it looks like he might have some major damage there on that thing. Yep. Looks like the right front took a nasty little ding there. Not sure what exactly started that or what caused it in this case here. I think we need to go take a look at the replay and see if we can get a good look at that. Something brought that 09 into pit road because he did not go into pit road on his own there. Something happened there. So see what exactly transpired here, but it looks like it might have been a conclusion of multiple things here. Man, now I know how Charlie Brown felt after he just basically got himself a rock. The Home Depot 09 got nailed with a couple rocks down there. Oh, man. Ouch, ouch. And what's the other word? Oh, yeah, ouch. You get a good drive there, jumping around on that and staying safe there, but owie. Yeah, he slammed that wall hard. That was really hard there. Probably knocked him loose and probably knocked him off his pedestal a few places there in his mind. And I think that was the end of it there. I think that's where he decided to get into pit road. See if we can get a good look at just how much damage he suffered there. Yep, you can see right there. Yeah, that 09 was all but damaged up too badly there. And again, he had to pull it into pit road and pretty much cost him all that time and effort that he was trying to get back onto the field. Just bad break after bad break. Again, you've only have about 5 drivers right now that have been able to stay away from that kind of trouble and stay away from kind of position here. As we bring it back to the live tracks right now, Joshua Balliet and Aiden Garradano are in pit road. Pit stops of plenty, pit stops of many. Which one makes the best of the other? Looks like a lot of right sides are going on. I guarantee the lefts are going on too. Balliet, much, much better off than Aiden there. Aiden looked like he might have slipped the tires a little bit. Now can he try to hustle back down and catch him quickly coming out of pit road? Believe it or not, you can catch him out of pit road and make that pass if you can get to him. Aiden's looking for it. Joshua, though, he's just staying cool and smooth. Played it right into his hands, and now he's just looking to keep this thing going. Aiden going to hopefully look for an opening here, getting through traffic. Remember, Jason Miz earlier on went into pit road, and now he's looking to try and hold this one back down a few spots. Balliet going to be looking for every opening he can to pass him. Watch out for that battle, because right now, one of those 3 get into it here. Could be costly. Balliet right now doing everything he possibly can to get clear of that 24. Aiden successful in it too. Joshua will continue to move it into the middle of the chains here. Those two drivers are ones to watch out for, but unless a caution comes out, it's not going to do any good to guys like that 13 of Kevin Thompson, who have already been passed up by the leaders. The strategy just not playing into their factor, or they're literally hoping for a long, long run. Now, let's kind of pull this one back a minute here. Let's maybe think about what his game plan could be. Let's take a look at this here again. He pitted on lap number 47. So again, I said earlier that he was one of the closest drivers that was going for the full 3 pit stops, or at least 2. He didn't want to go for the third one, but again, the problem with what the strategy calls for versus what you're doing, you're having to literally on the fly maneuver time, effort, and speed, and hopefully don't end up having to look at that caution flag and realize you're going to run out of fuel or run out of time here. That's what they've been avoiding, and they've been trying to keep clear of all day long. And the thing is, into this night skies, the track, again, is not going to give you any brakes. It's not going to be slicker, but it's going to be a lot more grippy, which could make things much more difficult the longer this one goes. Thompson may be leading it, but Julio Villalobos. I'm sorry, Julio. I'll just say Julio for the rest of the night. I'm sorry, bud. Right now, currently holding in the ranks of the second spot. As Josh Fox earlier on was trying to muscle his way around him, trying to get something going. Didn't look like he was able to keep things in check there as much as he'd like to. I have to see if that kind of is a bit more of a factor here in what they do. Alright, fans, I said earlier on there that the little QR code is to their website here for Twin Tiers Security Solutions. What do they do for you? Well, here, let me give you a little brief explanation. Established in 2026, Twin Tiers Security Solutions LLC is a locally owned and licensed alarm installer based in Horseheads, New York. We provide the installation, maintenance, and service low-voltage security system of residential and commercial properties in New York and Pennsylvania. Our spectrum of knowledge ranges from CCTV, IP cameras to intrusion systems, access control, point of sale systems, Wi-Fi expansions, and structured cabling, giving our clients advanced technological protection and home and commercial security. As I was saying all that there, again, I was not looking away there from the camera. I do know Julio had gotten into pit road and basically slapped up the wall protection there, costing himself even more time and probably a little bit more damage to fix up. As if things couldn't get worse for his night tonight, besides me messing up his last name the whole time. I will say this, Julio, if you are hearing this, please do let me know how to say the last name properly. I really would like to make sure I don't mess that up no more. Parking their way back around the track right now. Kyle Lingerfeld and Jeremiah Stutzman finally having a little go at it here. They certainly are doing what they can here with what they've got, but again, they are on the lead lap because they have yet to go back into pit road. They'll have to go in eventually because right now, Balliet and Giordano have already gone out and gone through, and time right now not on their side. A very tumultuous time for these drivers here, just having to deal with the pressure and deal with everything they can. Not only obviously trying to keep things well within range, but well within their own grasp. As now Matthew Setzer heads himself into pit road here. He has chosen his part. Get a little bit of an onboard camera here from the Outback Steakhouse number 21 of Aiden Giordano. And Aiden, once again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, very consistent. Has been his goal and been his name of the game. He's been using that well and using that strongly. And it's because of that that he stayed within range and stayed within focus of his goals. Kevin Thompson is in the pit road now, which means Josh Fox, the last one left, yet to go in. Looking at the timing sheets right now too, Josh obviously staying out much later than the other drivers. He actually stayed out till lap 49. Tyler Marco also was out lap 49, and so was Stutzman. But no one was able to get a full 50 laps in. So what that tells me, again, is it tells me that Joshua and Aiden, again, are really using a lot of that momentum and a lot of that power to basically kind of drill into the track and kind of drill in their own situation. They know their drivers are going to try to outthink them and out-strategize them. But with their strategy, they're playing it very, very controllably and very more keen into the hands of their own desires. Josh Fox continuing to put this Bass Pro Shops Club number 2 further and further into his zone and into his lane. I mean, the patterns kind of speak for themselves here. Well, and I just heard one of the motors go out on one of these guys here. Didn't see where that puff of smoke came from or where the motor went, but I think that might have been in pit road there. Wasn't Kyle Lingerfeld, I can say that. He's still able to move it around just fine. Josh, man, right now, he really wants to stretch this thing out as long as he possibly can. But again, my problem I have for him, though, is the fact that since he's stretching as long and as hard as he is doing now, is that going to be enough time to stay clear of Joshua as well as Aiden when they come back out on the track? Because again, right now, Aiden and Joshua, they're about 8 seconds back, and they're climbing up quick. Want to know how quick? Let's take a look. You can see right here, again, the time deltas don't lie. It's nearly a full second at times. You can see Balliet there. He is going 9/10 of a second gain in ground. That's a second pretty much, if you will, in terms of oval times. And Aiden not far behind him either. Again, they are blasting these cars down and blasting the speeds around. And again, there's a 2-second gap difference just added on. Josh's night couldn't be any worse than that. But it looks like he may have something. He tried to stay out as long as he could there, but it wasn't enough time. He's going to have to go to pit road. They'll climb back up to him. But this could be Josh Fox's final stop. The other two, they're going to have to go into pit road at least one more time. Man, like the strategy these drivers just pull it up and try to fight with. It's incredible. It's like I've always said before, sometimes in racing, it's not always the fastest driver that wins. Sometimes it's the most clever. And honestly, that's been kind of a showcase of racing in all the lights of life. It's not just NASCAR or it's not just IndyCar. Literally, it could be any kind of racing series. All they need to do is basically just stay clear of their troubles, stay clear of issues, only follow their routine, their pattern, and just use it against everyone else. If the other drivers thought of it too, then it all looks about the same. But when you got the black sheeps of the racing going out there and basically just making sure that they have set a different kind of ideology or a different goal pattern, that's what makes things so darn dangerous with them being around and what they can bring to the table. Balliet and Garridano, as mentioned a second ago, took in the race lead away. Forrest Hamilton Jr. and Jason Miz here about 2 seconds back from one another, but about a full 9 or 10 seconds away from the leaders. And that's your top 5, by the way, I'm talking about. Kevin Thompson, the number 13, playing a very different kind of keen strategy here than what Balliet and Garridano are doing here. Honestly, what I'm curious about with Thompson, though, is with this beast mode number 13, where is the strategy card and where is the goal? Again, he doesn't have his teammates here today. He doesn't have Andrew St. Clair with him. He doesn't have any of that. He's basically a one-man wrecking crew and just kind of trying to find and dictate a pace. But can he dictate the pace correctly to get back up to these two and find that smoke to burrow through? That's going to be a very big question. But again, top 5 right now, considering over 100 laps have been put down on Charlotte here. Very impressive in my opinion, considering this is a very, very long and hard winding road that these drivers are pushing themselves through and dealing with. at this very, very moment. Dialing down to the track right now and still looking for momentum here. Everybody just trying to dictate a pace, trying to dictate something here to get this thing riled up even more than maybe they are expecting. Aiden at the moment knows that that dirty airflow has just been an Achilles heel because him and Balliet have been pretty much locked on and locked horns on their momentum, on their king, on their strategy. Yeah, right now at the moment, like I said, unless Balliet finds a huge rock or hits a big chunk of tape or something that basically destroys that whole front end and slows him up a bit, Aiden basically is trapped behind him. He can't outrace him because the car just won't let him. And even Aiden right now, I got to believe, just feeling all that pressure and all that buildup. He knows obviously consistency is going to be a big thing here. But as a driver, again, it is just so dang darn beyond frustrating. Mentally, knowing that you had so much going at stake and so much you can do, and you're literally pushing everything to its limit here. Josh Fox right now right behind him there as well in the number 2 machine. Currently went into pit road there on lap number 99 here, just trying to get his pace back and try to build some speed. Maybe look for a way around the 21 as well as maybe that 18 machine. He's not out of this one yet, race fans. He still has something. Because, again, he's not just playing this for shots and goggles. He's got a strategy. He's got something on his mind. He's trying to dictate it, trying to stick with it. But I just don't think that these guys are really going to be able to make this thing last as long as it can. And to make matters even worse here, again, they got to now even worry about trying to stay clear of getting too aggressive and too all over the place here. Momentum again starting to linger around. Every driver just wanting to hopefully stay within range and within a shot here in a distance, maybe anything at this point, just to kind of get themselves on whatever they can get out of it. Field right now, again, starting to kind of switch up a little bit. Jason Miz and the number 24 and the 5 here, Matthew Setzer, as well as Morgan Sterling. Yes, that is a battle going on right now for the 8th position here as both 3 drivers have a little mano-a-mano battle for each other here. And again, this all predicates around the fact of that different strategies have been used up in this clean green flag run from point A to point B. No one has been left with any openings or any mishaps or anything. It's all been how do you handle and how do you take care of the speed and drive. The will to survive is no joke around these parts of town. On the track right now, Elizabeth Giordano has said go Aiden as well in the chat. Elizabeth, great to have you back on board here. Quite a few of you fans, honestly, we haven't heard from you today. But it is good to hear back from you. Good to see you still talking and hanging around with us right now. Jason Miz getting a little bit further away here from Morgan Sterling here. He's got about a 2.5 second gap now on the 23. But still lap down here. And now trying to get something back. Balliet now with his toughest customers yet. 2-for-1 special. He's got Stutzman and he's got Julio right in front of him. As Forrest Hamilton Jr. looks like they're going to make their way into pit road. This should be their final pit stop of the day. My question is, when does Balliet and when does Giordano go into? Giordano here as well as Balliet right now got to be very, very careful. The games they're playing right now and the positions they're putting themselves in, very tricky. And Aiden, oh, bit of a switch up here. Aiden's gone to pit road. He heard about Forrest. He went in before, right after him. And now Joshua kind of left in a very weird spot. Does he go in now and try to get ahead there of Aiden as well as Forrest? Or does he make the mistake and try to hold on a little longer? There's 30 laps left. I know they not enough time to do it. Looks like they're going to go into pit road now. Joshua is in pit road. This is a very crucial pit stop. Aiden's coming out. Full fours and full fuel for Aiden Giordano. Forrest Hamilton Jr. coming up quick. He's trying to build some momentum, build that power back down, trying to hurry before Aiden gets back out. Aiden already down the back straightaway here. Forrest did not have enough time. He tried. Final set of tires going on for Joshua. He's got to hurry. They're coming up quick. They're coming up fast. And he knows how hard he's been pushing to keep that draft away. Aiden coming flying off the front straightaway, looking to speed down things into turn number 1. Can he get around Joshua? That's the big question. Pulls it right out there, turn number 1 and 2. Joshua trying to hurry, but it's too little too late. Aiden Giordano's got the right spot away from him. That just leaves Josh Fox left on the marker here. And Josh right now got to be literally just filling his stomach up with all sorts of problems right now, realizing he's in trouble. His fuel strategy call might not pay off here for the win. It may give him some good positions, but everyone wants that win. Josh right now realizing he might have duped himself out of this one, may have miscalculated Aiden going in. He's got a lap fresher set of tires, though, over Aiden. Does that enough? I wonder, is that enough time and is that enough rubber to fire down quickly at that 21? Because, again, Josh Fox is not going to give an inch. He's going to do everything he can to try to put this thing into victory lane. And you can hear that clutching there of Josh Fox. Again, he's doing everything he possibly can to try to hold on and do whatever he's got to do. The driver who qualified back in 12th, currently your leader But again, for how much longer? Because he's losing a lot of ground and time. Wee2 says, nice job, 21. Well, it was a good job, but now he's got competition on his back doorstep, and now he's got even more problems behind him. He knows dirty air is going to be a downfall for Joshua, but he's got to somehow find a way around 2-lap traffic cars here. And he's giving Joshua plenty of time to catch up. Slow down a little bit. Coming down from turn number 4. Now needs to dial it back quickly here before Gardner gets to him. Back down around the track on the inside here and now. It is Balliet who's got something for him. He's got to get around Gardner too, though. He doesn't get around him on turn 2. Slight mishap there from Joshua. He lost time. He lost patience, and now he realizes he's in trouble. Aiden slipping up a little bit, though, there, too. He slowed up quite a bit going through turn number 3 into 4, or maybe the car is not liking what the 21's doing. Joshua doing everything he possibly can. He's led the most laps this race. He's held on to the position farther than anybody else. He doesn't want to let this one slip by. Still looking for that first win of the season. We know he can do it, and we know he can get to it quickly. Look to the inside, though. Here we go. Dirty airflow no more. It's now just between 2 heavy hitters. All 4 tires now getting put down in the track, trying to see which one gets the better of the other. Back down off and through front straightaway into turn number 1 here. It is a side-by-side duel, but Aiden's too far into the mix. He's got to get back to the bottom. He's looking for the crossover, trying to pull the switchblade, did I call it? He couldn't pull it out. Didn't get it done. The slingshot didn't get it. The switchblade didn't work. He's lost ground. Joshua has made the move and finally has taken back over position as they slowly but surely climb back up to catch Josh Fox right up ahead. Do you think I forgot all about your race leader right now? Oh, no, 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 no. I may have been counting quickly what was going on in that battle for second, but Josh Fox, that's the one they have to pass. And Josh right now is just basically at this point asking the racing gods, praying to anybody that'll listen and hoping for something here to work his way. But you see, with 20 laps left to go, saving fuel and with your tires you have on that car, they don't usually work out the best. Could Stutzman and Julio possibly be a bit of a bridge, a bit of a spot that these guys behind are going to be stuck into? Is that going to be a troublemaker situation for him, I wonder? Julio doesn't seem to really care. Think that thought too through. He's up on the outside, puts the binders on that. Number 78 looking to get his lap back. He doesn't want to go back down another lap. He wants his lap back. He'll get it. Stutzman trying to do much the same. Balliet and Giordano right now immediately trying to dial it through, trying to find some speed where they can, looking for openings where they got it as well. It's anybody's race still here. 3 guys looking to set the world on fire. Joshua, 1 lap, better set of tires and fuel compared to Aiden's lesser lap and lesser fuel. But Josh Fox played a very, very different kind of strategy card today. He went for only a 2-cycle pit stop. I don't think it's going to work, though. Hip on the backside. You've got company, Fox. Fox throws the block. He goes down in the middle. He's trying to stop Balliet. He's trying to stop Aiden, but he knows he has nothing for him. On the outside, they crease for the fight. It's a battle off turn number 4, and Balliet finding it perfectly off the corner. Takes full center stage now as now Aiden Giordano gets around him as well. Oh my goodness, race fans, if you thought long and drawn out races were not any fun or anything worth the darn, I challenge you to look at this one. You got to think for a second here. It may have been Balliet who has held full control for the race lead for quite a while. But do you have any idea the amount of stress, thought process, and everything that went into these machines and these drivers right now just trying to nail the strategy, put 2 and 2 together, and somehow, some way, make this work in this long of a race, in this long of a format? I bet you more than anything, you probably couldn't even begin to think of it, let alone know what it is like down there. Aiden Giordano again. No disrespect or no disclaim to him. He pulled an amazing strategy card. He pulled a very solid strategy and run. But unless he finds an anchor to stop that 18, it's going to be very, very hard to get up ahead of it. Balliet was just too fast and too furious and focused right now. And that dirty air, just absolutely the cherry on top of the sundae that is this car. Just been an absolute waking nightmare for that 21 team here to try to get into victory lane. But again, you got to think for the long-term strategy-wise, points-wise, he currently is #1 in points. Balliet a good few points back of him. And looking at our radar here, as well as looking at the times here, it seems as though in total Balliet is a good, looks like 72 points back of Aiden. That is definitely a lot harder to grasp and a lot harder to get around. But again, the fact is, Balliet leading these laps and leading this time down, this gives him multiple opportunities and multiple chances here to take good use of it and take good late claim of fame ahead of everyone else here in this situation. Again, the race is not over yet, but in terms of what I feel, what I'm talking about, I think honestly the overall strategy call was won out by Balliet. But Aiden, he could still get some runs going, get some momentum kicked up, and make something work out of it. The problem is it's just so difficult to do in these kind of situations and do in these kind of runs here. A lot of drivers now just falling further and further back in disarray and disrepair here. A lot of them not even on the late lap at the moment here, honestly. I think in total there's only about, looks like just under 7 or 8 that are actually on the lead lap. Again, this has been an old school beatdown. We've had a couple of cars spin and crash out. We've had a couple of cars go into the middle. Again, no cautions were thrown out for those. It's been a clean-cut race here from point A to point B. And many drivers just absolutely wearing and tearing on themselves and doing anything they could to try to make use of their runs and make use of their timing tonight. Adam Gardner right now looking to maybe get anything he can back up the Setzer here. But again, he slapped that wall around quite a few times earlier on. As you saw, even right up ahead of him. Taking a little bit of a whack and a smack on that. I believe that was the number 3 there, Forrest Hamilton Jr. that took the hit there. Might have, or no, excuse me, that was Ben Ryan there. My apologies. That was Ben Ryan, the 9, that slapped the wall off there in turn number 2. Just precious opportunity and time listed away. Well, coming down on turn number 3 and 4, this time on by for the 18, Joshua Balliet has got himself only 10 laps left to finish. Working through the traffic, working through the field. Julio goes up high side. Balliet trying to stay in his own lane. Balliet again right now just remaining focused and remaining solid on his momentum. He's not really changed his line all day. He stayed clear of trouble. He stayed clear of any issues. He just wants one more set of good lap times and one more set of good runs here to finish out this one. But again, you got to think too, that mental fatigue, the fatigue in your arms, your body. Like, it is no joke. You run this long and you run this crazy, again, race fans. It may seem just trivial, like keep going around an oval, but if there's one thing I've always learned with this stuff is that there is a definition to insanity and there's a definition to just remembering that the best drivers are those that are the most patient. The most dangerous weapon that has ever been told or ever shown is a man or woman's patience. If you can keep it stronger than others and use it against the other driver, in this case, Joshua versus Aiden, it absolutely can do damage that no one else can see. And 21 right now, again, and losing more pace and time. And again, it's not for a lack of trying. I want to remind folks that he's literally putting all the speed down, all the power down in that 21 camp. The problem is again, that one lap set of extra tires and that one lap bit of fuel and everything kind of steering around through the turns and through the corners, it's made that much of a difference here. And in my opinion, it's been the overall biggest Achilles heel that caught the 21 off guard there, especially having to work through lap traffic and now trying to get around Josh Fox there when he was battling with them. Speaking of Josh Fox here again, he's not out of the woods yet. You think if for 1 second just because he's in third that means anything? No. No, he literally right now is just basically slapping that clutch as soon as he's in a turn and not getting out of that until he is on the straightaway. He is holding on to everything he's got, trying to make sure he can save up as much fuel as need be, because he knows that this is an absolute problem if he does not do it. Like I said, I loved the strategy idea and I loved his thoughts, but you know, there's a reason why even Formula One had to basically cause a little bit of a ripple effect there in 2005 and 6 there, when old Ferrari was basically swapping out tires left and right really quickly. It may be short run on the time span, but when you can make it up with blistering speed and blistering power, well, let's just say it doesn't do you very good. Oh, this things couldn't get any worse. They look like right up the wall protection. Look like the 21 getting up into there. Things just going from bad to worse in this case. Well, it might have been actually Julio that got on the wall protection. Let's see. I thought it was 8 in there. Looks like it might have actually been Julio. Yeah, that was Julio there. He actually slapped that wall protection off a little bit. Actually kind of got a little bit of a run down there into that blistering speed market. Case in point, worked out well for him there and actually held off the Aiden for a minute, but it wasn't long enough. And now, if anything, that just made Aiden even more angry, realizing he had it, whatever he had left to get to Balliet is all but gone. Final 2 laps left to go. Green flag high in the air. 2 more to finish. Joshua Balliet, in a valiant effort and a valiant run, now needing to just put this one behind him and put this one to bed. Aiden Garridano, though, credit where credit's due. He left nothing on the table. He put it all on the line. But I don't think it's going to be enough today. Roll him down through off turn number 4. White flag up in the air. One more lap for Joshua Balliet. He didn't lead all the laps. He didn't dominate like some other drivers may have expected. But what he did do was be patient, be thoughtful, and use it to his advantage. And in this case tonight, he goes full bore center down to victory lane. Your winner here in Charlotte will be the 18 of Joshua Balliet. Second will go to Aiden Garridano, and coming off turn number 4, barely holding on, is gonna be Josh Fox. Qualified first, and he ends it in first. Your Twin Tiers Security Solutions Outlaws Sim Series now coming full center stage here to victory lane. And race fans, there he is. The man of the hour, the man with the power. He did not feel too sour. He takes it home to victory lane and gets it done tonight. The 18, Joshua Balliet. And we saying the same sentiment. I was thinking excellent racing 21 and excellent racing out there in general to everybody. Honestly, all around, very, very great stuff here. Fireworks firing off down in the circuit. Let's take a look now at our race results here, presented in part by our folks down there at Twin Tier Security Solutions. This was a great one here. Again, I know it was a long, drawn-out race, but sometimes those are the best kind because it's that suspense and that dread that you wait and you see, but you just don't know because it's like, what will happen? Could it happen? Will something change? And it's exactly what we got between Balliet and Giordano. Joshua getting the victory here. Aiden going second. Josh Boxell, man, talk about a guy that basically threw a monkey wrench into everybody's strategies, calls. He played his own game plan. And guess what? It got him into third. And honestly, I credit him for that. That's brilliant. Well done there, Forrest Hamilton Jr. Man, he made a last-ditch effort to get to Josh. He knew what he had to do. He saved enough fuel, and he was pushing hard there. You saw him coming to the end. It wasn't enough time, though. Fifth going to Jason Miz. And Miz, earlier on, he was very smart and clever on what he was up to and what he was doing. He knew how to kind of play that strategy card. He knew what he needed to do, and he settled it down there. Nice top 5 for him. Kevin Thompson going 6. Man, he was absolutely playing any kind of card he could and doing any kind of strategy move. Wasn't enough there. 78 there. Julio Villalobos there getting 6 here. 7, excuse me. Great showing there for that 78 team. Definitely well earned it. Jeremiah Stutzman, despite going a lap down and getting himself into trouble, still going in 8th. Matthew Setzer here and Adam Gardner rounding out the top 10 here. And both drivers, in my opinion, playing a key pivotal role in this quest here tonight. All right, race fans, it's finally time to chat with them. Let's hear it from them. Joining me down here in victory lane here, the driver of the number 18, Joshua Balliet, joins me here. And Joshua, congratulations getting it done here today. And my word, good sir, that last pit stop, I thought, honestly, might have threw a monkey wrench into your leading in position, but call us surprised. You were able to find that extra lap of tire burn, and you used it well on Aiden.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I kind of thought I threw by the because I was a little bit slow getting off the pit lane, and I pit the lap later, so that was already a second disadvantage. And then I kind of thought I threw the race there, but I was able to kind of, I guess, trick Aiden to moving up to the top because I kept running the top to get to him. And then when I saw, like, I was like, if he moves, if he looks like he's gonna go to the top this side to block me off, I was just gonna try and send it on him. And thankfully, he went to the top, and I was able to basically do a center lane and kind of block off his lane. But Aiden drove a good race. I just was fortunate that I picked the right line.
You picked the right line, you picked the right time here, and obviously I know that it's very difficult here to find that right opening, that right opportunity, but for you and your team here, I mean, I gotta believe, like, dominating a race like this, kind of a la what 2017 Martin Truex Jr. did, I gotta believe this is absolutely gotta be feeling pretty good for your team, and knowing that now there's the rest of the season still to make up those lost points there, isn't it?
I actually don't. I haven't looked at the point situation. I know it's probably not great after I sped at Auto Club, so it's good to get simple. But I'm just Aiden and Forrest was up here anyway, so it's probably not too many points gained. But chip away at it next week, Dega. So probably lose a little bit more around there, but here's the hoping.
Certainly open indeed here. Well, nevertheless, Joshua, I know you had quite a few folks watching it here tonight. Who are we thinking here to get you to victory lane?
Well, there's people watching for me.
I mean, there was quite a few watching the show here tonight. There's a good few of them.
I
so
thought you mentioned someone. I thought you mentioned someone was like chatting about. I was like, hey, someone was messaging about me, but no. I'd like to, well, as usual, as the last time in Vegas, thank myself, broadcast team, and Adam.
For sure there. All right. Well, Joshua, we appreciate your time here today. Congratulations on getting it done here at Charlotte tonight.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here tonight, driver number 18, Joshua Balliet. Now we join here with your second place finisher here today here in Aiden Giordano. And Aiden, once more, another top 3, another consistent finish. But I got to believe that you were probably wanting more than just a second place tonight, considering you went to pit road a lap sooner than Joshua did. And it looked like things were going your way. What happened down there? And talk me through the situation.
I mean, I got out of the pits. I came out in front of him, not as far as I would have hoped to, but it was in front of him. It was about 7/10, so I was like, oh, give him the dirty air like he's been doing to me all race, and I should have this in the bag. And he just came like out of a bat out of hell and just threw it in and stuck it and passed me. I mean, I give him big props for that move. I tried to get him back and I couldn't. Car just wouldn't stick the way I wanted it to. So I give all the credit in the world to Joshua for winning that race.
A lot of credit, of course, indeed, there for him and getting it done. I know, obviously, though, Aiden, you had certainly a lot going on your play here today, being points leader and trying to get yourself further along. Obviously, I know this probably will help out quite a bit, but at the end of the day, I mean, even though the dirty air did not quite work in your favor there and the tire strategy did not quite go according to plan, I still got to believe, though, that you're pretty satisfied at least knowing that you're still keeping everybody away from chipping at your lead today, huh?
Yeah, other than the 18, but yeah, um, I mean, I feel pretty good after today. It's just about consistency. It's what this points format's all about, and that's why I like this points format. Because if you're not consistent, it shows. If you're consistent, it shows. And right now, it's showing with these first 4 races we have. So I'm pretty satisfied right now.
Very satisfied indeed. Now, Aiden, as I mentioned before, we had quite a few folks watching today, and a lot of folks were commenting away for you. So I got to believe you got at least something for them here tonight. Who we thinking?
We're gonna thank all my sponsors, Outback Steakhouse, Farmingdale State College, and Bass Pro Shops for tagging along today in Charlotte. We're gonna thank everybody at Josh Fox Motorsports. The team owner Josh Fox, Forrest Hamilton, um, and Josh Reese for witness on tonight. Unfortunately, Devin, our other teammate, couldn't be here tonight. And my mom, she was commenting. She was wee too, so she was watching the whole thing. She kept tabs. Not sure if my dad was watching, but hi dad. And I think my grandmother was watching, so hi grandmother. And also everybody that just kind of supports me week in and week out um, for me doing this.
So there. Well, Aiden, congratulations again getting it done here for another podium finish, and we certainly hope to see more of you here in the near future, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Race fans, here your second place finisher here tonight, driver number 21, Aiden Garredano. All right, and we're going to wrap this one up here with your third place driver here tonight, race fans. He drives the number 2 machine and currently was quite a hard charger, getting 9 spots up, started 12, going to third, Josh Fox. Woo-wee, Josh, man, that strategy you decided to put up on these boys and throw everyone for a loop, that almost, in a lot of ways, took this win away. Talk me through what you were going through your mind there.
Yeah, I mean, I knew I didn't have the speed to keep up with. I think probably the top 5. And coming into the race, I didn't put any laps down in practice. I didn't put a qualifying lap down. I came from another race that I did, and so I was just trying to ride around for most of it. And then I realized that I could split it up into 3 stops, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll try that and try to get something out of it. And I think I drove to maybe 7th on pure speed. So I mean, what's 4 extra spots there, getting third. I mean, yeah, it worked out. It's always it's definitely fun sometimes saving fuel. It also can be very stressful as well, especially when you know you're gonna get passed by a couple of the guys. And I knew once the right after the last when they came to pit and like when they came to pit, like what lap they did, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to hold them off. And honestly, I probably should have finished 4th because Forrest was right behind me and he had a good run on me, and the lap cars there kind of messing things up. But yeah, overall, a good race. I do like Charlotte, and yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that, Josh, because like you had a very, very interesting last bit there. Obviously, I know you were trying to stay as long as you could and kind of force, Joshua and Aiden to basically have to do their own thing and try to throw them for a loop. But with them having to go into pit early and you having to stay out as little as time as possible, you think in total that was kind of one of the reasons why you weren't able to really hold them back off and just barely able to hold off Forrest there at the end?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if they would have pit later in the run, which I mean, I would have pit when they pit as well if I was on that strategy, because you wouldn't want to get beat by the guy saving fuel, of course. But I figured they were gonna try to split it in half and try to. I don't even know if they were worried about me. I doubt they were. But yeah, we were just trying to get out, get track position. Maybe. I mean, I knew we could make it. We ran out of gas out of like coming through the triable, so I mean, we did that really well. The only other thing that might have made it a little interesting, maybe a yellow, but I can't really complain because it's very rare that you see a race go flag to flag like that, and it's always fun. Just whoever wins on pure speed, And yeah, I always love this league. I like running it every week or try to. I said I was going to run part time. I've been here every week, but yeah, it's always hard beating Ballier. He's always pretty fast, and Aiden's pretty quick too. So is Forrest and everybody else. I know there's a lot of fast guys in this league, but it's always good to bring home a podium and get some momentum going.
Absolutely there. Now, Josh, obviously, it said it's been a part-time, but we still have been enjoying seeing you participate out every now and then here in the week series. So I'll ask you, my friend, who are we thanking here today to get you to third place?
Yeah, I want to thank all my teammates over at JFM, Aiden Giordano, Forrest Hamilton Jr., and then the guys on the other side, Kyle Lingerfeld, Matt Setzer, Tyler Markle, I know Devin Smith, we got Anthony Hamilton, Joshua Reese. We got all kinds of guys. I probably missed a few. Thanks for you putting on the broadcast. It's always fun going back and watching that. And thanks to Adam for making this league happen for all these years. It's always fun racing with him, and glad he puts on a show for us.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, Josh, it's been a pleasure to have you on board here today. Congratulations getting it done here for a third place finish today.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher tonight, the driver of the number 2, Josh Fox. And boy, did a strategy he play out indeed, race fans. And that will end our night here tonight. It's been a wonderful time here at Charlotte. We appreciate every single one of you guys that tuned in here today. But until the green flag flies next time, we ask each and every one of you, be safe, take care, God bless, we love you, have a good night. From us at Speed Zone TV.